You may know the experiment where there's a kid sitting at a table, and then there's a guy that's here, he gives the kid a marshmallow, right? We know this experiment where he gives the kid the marshmallow, and then the kid has to sit there, and, he's, like, looking at the marshmallow, and the guy's like, you can have this marshmallow now, or you can have 3 marshmallows if you wait 20 minutes for them. And so many of the kids, like most of them, just ate the one marshmallow because they didn't have the willpower, they couldn't wait that long. One, because, like, they didn't have, like, an attention span for that, and, everyone, like, all the little kids have, like, tablets and shit now. But also, we can learn from this. We can learn from this experiment. We can actually take action from this experiment in real life. We can wait for the second marshmallow. Let me explain. When most people, right, when they encounter, say, a girl that just barely fits their, like, expectations, they're like, oh, well, we shouldn't have very high standards, because and they just get whatever they can, right? They don't want to wait because they're so freaking, like, they're so obsessed about, like, girls and shit that they're like, whatever I can get, If so many people do that, and I think the problem here is that they're not willing to wait for, like, a high quality girl to show up, and they don't want to wait for it. They just get whatever they can get, like, oh, I'll just take the first marshmallow because the marshmallow, I'm not willing to wait for, like, the 2 marshmallows later. I'll just eat this one now because, whatever their reasoning is, they just take the first marshmallow. They can't wait. They're not willing to wait for the second marshmallow because they don't have enough high standards. Everyone says, oh, we shouldn't have very high standards, because it's not realistic. But the problem is, that's just, like, shit advice. Now, you do not have to take advice from me. I mean, you don't have to take any advice from me. I don't really care. Well, I guess I do, but because I want you to learn. But you don't have to take advice from me, all right? But what I would say is at least watch this video and see if it makes sense. You don't have to take advice from me, because I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, it's common sense. Most people my age don't know what they're talking about, and they don't give good advice because they don't really give advice. But I'd say, I think what is really true is that we need to have higher standards, because we got these shitty, like, we're not willing to wait for high quality girls that will really benefit us, like the feminine, pretty ones that when you would come home, she would greet you with a smile and hug you, and she had dinner ready because, she was thinking about you and stuff. That's like the bare minimum. That should be, like, the bare minimum. Yet our bare minimum is she looks good. That's, like, actually the bare minimum for most people. But we need to have higher standards, because it's so normal. It's not normal to have, like, high standards today, because everyone's like, oh, you shouldn't have high standards. Everyone says that. But if you don't have high standards, you're not gonna get like a high quality woman that you're not gonna find someone that you want to actually like stay with for the rest of your life. You're not gonna find anyone if you have these low ass standards, and you don't have any. You also need to have high standards for yourself, not just with girls, but with yourself. But the problem is so many people say that you shouldn't have too high standards because, it's unrealistic. But it's you don't have to listen to me. But I think that if you really want a high quality girl, a high quality woman, it's worth it to wait for the second marshmallow. I actually have a thing in my phone. You know the notes app in your phone. I actually have like a note it says like I ask myself a bunch of like questions like, is she this, is she this, is she this, like, is her, whatever this is. It's like it asks a bunch of like questions, and it gives like the standards that I'm willing to wait for. And at the end, it says like something like, it's like, remember Max, wait for the second marshmallow. And it's just I think it's a good way to use my willpower to wait for the second marshmallow. Wait for the we need to have higher standards, because the problem is now men are they're not trying to improve themselves, because since women don't have higher standards, men now think like they'll just do the bare minimum. So we need to do above the bare minimum. Like, the bare minimum is to make money. Make money, build a nice physique, look good, and like have game or something. But we don't go past the bare minimum. We don't learn about like the spirituality or personality, being loving, being a gentleman, and we don't learn past the bare minimum because we just go to the bare minimum. But we really need to have higher standards and not just take whatever we can get. And we need to not obsess about this shit. I hate when everyone says like, oh, focus, like all the red pill guys, they're like, oh, focus on yourself, like we don't care about girls. Which, it's good, it's nice to focus on yourself, it's good. But it is really important. So, yeah, focus on yourself. I'd say totally focus on yourself until you find a high quality woman that you would stay with for the rest of your life. We need to wait for the second marshmallow. It's one high quality girl is worth 1,000 low quality ones. Low quality, partying in the club and stuff. One high quality woman is worth 1,000 women in the club. Wait for the second marshmallow. Peace out. See you next video.